But before I let Professor Wolff go, I know we have like 5 minutes left with him, so I just want to, I feel like if we didn't address immigration, that we really would be remiss in this conversation. So now I will say, I personally believe that there will be an incredible humanitarian cost to deporting 11 million people. But I'm hoping that the cold, hard economic facts of enacting this policy might cause people to reconsider their support for mass deportation. So I was hoping maybe you could share some of your thoughts on the economic impact of this policy, what it would cost for the U.S. government to try to do this, what the repercussions would be on the average American. I mean, if people are worried about the price of eggs and bacon, deporting the people who work in, agriculture and food production doesn't seem to me to be the way to lower those prices. But what would you say would be some of the economic consequences?
Yes. Before I do, let me also say, and maybe I'm wrong here, I hope not. For better or worse, and often it's worse, but sometimes it's better, America is a very religious place. And all of the major religions here, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they all say that what Allah or God or whatever it is you believe in wants you to do is to welcome the refugee, to open your arms, to open your heart, to give him a meal, to do all the things that the Bible and other holy books tell us to do. I think you're going to see, maybe sooner than you imagine, an immense reaction in this country, which will be driven by a well-deserved guilt on the part of this population for what they are doing. And, I feel that as strongly as I feel the guilt that will descend on the Jewish people for what has happened in Gaza. But putting that aside, here's the economics that you've asked about. The Department of Homeland Security says there's somewhere between 10 and 12 million undocumented immigrants in the United States. So as an economist, let me make one thing clear. We are a rich country of 330 million people. The economic problems we have, which are severe, could not ever have been caused by 10 to 12 of the poorest people on the planet. The notion that the immigrants are a cause of the problems we face is stone cold ridiculous. It may be a clever scapegoating, it may work to get you votes, but it has nothing to do with reality. Number two, there are certain industries that concentrate undocumented immigrants. Agriculture is a big one. The restaurant business is a big one. Yes. Construction is another big one. And then there's a whole host of other industries, but those are the big ones. In those industries, undocumented immigrants are a major part of the labor force. Not only that, they are a more important cause of the profitability in those industries than their mere numbers would tell you. Why? Because an undocumented immigrant can be and is regularly abused by the employer. Yes. For the obvious reason, which if you have any contact with these folks, they'll tell you 10 different stories. I've heard them all. It's Friday afternoon. Everybody's going to pick up their check at the front office before they go home. Jose arrives. He stands in line, waits for his check. The boss says, Jose, we've had a terrible week. We didn't make the money. I can't pay you this week. But if you come back next week, I can be sure to pay you. What is Jose going to do? Answer, nothing. He dare not go to any government office, right, because he's an undocumented. He can't show a paper. He can't show a residence allowance, nothing. He's terrified of going anywhere near the labor office. There's nothing he can do. And the employer knows it. The employers look for these people because of this. And I'm not going to take your time and mine to talk about the abuse, sexual and other, that this situation invites in all the ways you don't need me to tell you about. Okay, now let's imagine you deport them. First of all, that costs billions, because you're talking about 10 to 12 million people. You have to house them. You have to move them. You have to feed them in the process. You have to deal with the umpteen million lawsuits that will immediately crop up around all of this. This is going to take time and it's going to cost personnel and it's going to be an immense expense. But that's the least of it. Here comes the big one. Every one of those industries is a crucial player in the inflation level of the United States. Who's going to pick the lettuce? Who's going to pick the fruit? Who's going to do all that work? Who's going to clean the dishes in the back of the restaurant? Who's going to clean up at the end, the evening when the patrons of the restaurant go home? Well, the answer is you either close the restaurant, and that has economic consequences, or you close the farms, and that's really not an option, or you're going to have to hire Americans. And Americans won't be afraid to go to the labor office if you don't pay them. So you're going to actually have to pay them. And you're probably going to have to pay them a good bit more than the immigrant for all the reasons you normally pay immigrants less than native workers, which means the cost structure of these industries is going to take off. And you know what they're all going to do, those employers? They're going to raise their prices. They're going to...
Shalom, shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakha, Hakodash, Ida Selda, and the apostles of the Timison who do well. A peace, blessing, salvation to you, I'm pushing this truth to the four winds of the heaven, being at the forefront of this spiritual war, to make sure Jerusalem is established as a praise here on earth again, as in the days of old. So we have Professor Wolff, or over here we say Richard Wolff. He was going to how the American economy is an immigrant-based economy, man. Nobody in America wanna wake into this. The fundamental jobs which keep the American economy afloat, man. All of these industries in which they depended heavy on the immigrant. They can do whatever they want to them. They can decide not to pay them. They can decide to work them overtime. They can decide to do anything they want, man. Because they are undocumented and they can't go to this labor office to file a claim. They don't know what to do. And again, to be honest, this different immigrant working in America on whatever condition, that's a bonus to them. Let's say somebody who is coming from Sudan or Somalia or Kenya or in Central and South America, man, working in America, even if the working condition are bad, sometimes they don't get paid. It's still a bonus, man. And America right now under President Trump, what they want to do is they want to bring the manufacturing economy home because the manufacturing base have been taken overseas, especially to China, man. See, right now, I think America only have like 15%, the rest of it is abroad. And that was during the time of Nixon, man. They moved the manufacturing base mainly, not just China, mainly to China. So right now, Trump, because he's a businessman, he used to be a tycoon, he understands how America have been ripped off, man. That's what he's always speaking, man. We have a trade deficit. He was going on talking, they have a trade deficit even with the EU, which are their best allies. They have a trade deficit with Canada and Mexico. But how do you equalize all of this? And what you do is you tariff them, and if you tariff a country, and this different company, let's say you tariff Canada, and then you have different companies in which they are based in Canada, but the consumer base is in America. What they decided to do is they move to America to avoid the tariff. they shift their manufacturing base to America, and that's what Trump wanna do. So why now he's tariffing Canada, Mexico, and the EU, his ally? Why can't he go direct to China? Because the manufacturing base, to be honest, of America have been moved to China. Because right now the Chinese are not easy to bully. I don't remember the statistic, but like 90% of things you use in your Walmart, your local stores, they come from China. Your antibiotic, this electric vehicle, batteries, like almost 90% of things in the Americas, they come from China. And China have a robust network of supply chain, not just in America, but with these different other countries. It has went global. So you can't go direct to China and put tariff on China to bring the manufacturing base from China to America without having serious consequences. So what Trump chose, he chose to bully his ally, because his ally are weakling, man. They can't really respond how they are supposed to do. Actually, and that will create more inflation, because the American people will pay for this tariff, man. And that will lead for America being isolated. And this really is an economic error Trump is doing. He think like we are still in 2014, 2018. No, man. You see, so this is Isaiah 19, and the spirit of Egypt, which is America, shall fail in the midst thereof, man. It is that American spirit, it used to exist. There's a morale behind. And when you go to social media and an American leave a comment, they say it's written in another country. They say we are American, we are coming, and Trump used that. We are American, we are coming after you, we will find you, and we will destroy you, man. That spirit is going to melt, you see, because they will get a punch on the nose, because they are going around bullying people. They will get a punch in the nose, they will get a nosebleed, and they come to understand, oh, we don't have that privilege to go around bullying people. That's what the scripture was alluding to. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail, because nothing will be working for them like it used to be. Nothing will be working for them, man. And basically, they will be turned into a third world country, you see, and they will destroy the council setup of this different council, man. You see, and they shall seek to the idol, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirit, and to the wizards, man. This intelligent people, these professors, man. Because these professors and these scientists, man, they are joined into the left hand. So they will be seeking counsel by conjuring spirit, and it ain't gonna work. And the Egyptian will give over into the hand of the cruel Lord. That prophecy have already been happening. That's Trump. And the fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord Habashim Mashai, the Lord of hosts, and the waters shall fail from the sea. See? That's going to the maritime activities. That's going to the supply chain, man. You see, it will fail, because the America have been made rich because of what we call the trafficking. You see, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. You see, all the resources, everything, man. America will be basically what Ricardo Wolff is telling you. America will be shut down. You see, nothing will be going on in America, man. And Trump, he is destroying the last hope of America, man. See, and they shall turn to the rivers far away, and the brook of defense shall be emptied, man. See, the brook of defense is that leverage America used to have over this other nation. You can impose tariff and move back the manufacturing back home, but that leverage, you see, that age, for example, America have many tools which made them a little bit over the ages compared to this other nation. That advantage, for example, the dollar. The dollar is a strong instrument. Is a military. You see, and this is a phase 2 for the American empire to decline. The phase 1 was a proxy war in Ukraine. they have lost that proxy war. So this other country are saying America is not strongly military as they used to be back in the day. The second phase is they are launching they are launching a trade war against China, and that will be very miserable. So this other country will say, hey, America is not strong economically, so America is not strong militarily, have been proven by Russia. And just a few days ago, a high-level official from Russia said, it was actually the foreign minister of Russia, he said, we don't know how to lose wars. We don't know how. That basically means we have defeated the American empire and the NATO in this proxy war. And before the fall of the Soviet Union got defeated in Afghanistan, man. The same way America got defeated in Ukraine, man. They are trying to learn from that, but that's what happened. They are launching a trade war, and this trade war will fail miserably. So this other country will look and see, this, man. The empire is declining militarily and economically. You see? That's what the book of defense means, man. You lose that leverage against this other nation, man. They dried it up. They read in the flax shall wither. The paper read by the brook, by the mouth of the brook. This was going to the economy, man. Everything will be dried up. All the loophole will be closed in America. You used to get cheaper money. You can do that and get this. You can do this. All of those maneuvers will be closed out, man. And everything sown by the brook shall wither and be drowned away. And be no, the fish also shall mourn. See, who are the fishers, man? That's what's going into the manufacturing base of America, man. Because a fisher is a raw. When you fish a fish, you fish a fish for food. That's like a raw food. That's not processed. If you talk about the manufacturing economy basis, it means you build something from the ground, man, for yourself. And always that question in the book shall lament. These different hedge fund managers, man, who manage different accounts for different people. This really was going to investing, man. All of that shit ain't gonna work. And there's that speed net upon the water shall languish, man. Moreover, there's that work in the fine flux that's going to these different companies, different industry, man. There's that weave network shall be confounded. You see? And they shall be broken in the purpose thereof, all that make truth and a pond for fish. Surely the prince of Zoar are full. They are full because of the economic decisions they are making right now, man. They are full to not understand the position of America have changed for this all of these years. And this other country actually stronger. The council of the wise, the council of Pharaoh, it became brutish. All of his counselors, man. You see? Mark Rubio and these other people, man. You see? General Kuleba, I don't know. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient king. Where are they, man? Where are the wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what the Lord of hosts have purpose upon Egypt. They are not telling him the truth that, amen, this sheep is thinking, man. So with this we say shalom. We hope you brothers were edified. On to the next.